the Global Research Alliance, like the CAC initiative, could contribute a lot to build the capacities that we need to have better activity data, country-specific emission factors, which are dynamic. Because if we are in a process of implementing transformational changes, we cannot fix the emission factors and use them all along the period, because they will not reflect the changes in the practices, the changes in the efficiency, the changes in the productivity. So what is called by the IPCC the tier 2 level of reporting cannot be seen as a static way of reporting, but as a dynamic way in which tier 2 country-specific emission factors are updated periodically in order to better reflect the changes in the production system. So I think there is a very important role for international institutions in order to also to transfer information, to access experiences of different countries, to identify collective projects or multi-country projects in which we can exploit all the many synergies that we can achieve, because many countries have similar goals, have similar problems, similar challenges, and working together is a much more efficient way to achieve better results.
Great, no, that's fantastic.
Implementing a platform.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about the platform?
Yes.
What
yes.
is this platform that you're implementing?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so what's this platform that you're implementing?
Well, in order to better assist the policy design, mm-hmm. We need higher quality information on the real impact of the practices that we're implementing. If we want to produce more with the same enteric fermentation emissions, we have to know better how we can do this. For example, what is the impact of diet or additives to the diet in the emissions, and how can we account for this? We also need to develop models based on IPCC methodologies, but that can better estimate what happens at farm level. Mm-hmm. Inventories are thought for national data communication, but are not not so well adapted to guide decisions by farmers. So additional tools need to be developed in our view. And presently, our focus is also on net emissions, because when we improve the livestock productivity, we are also affecting the soil in a positive way. When the farmer works with more grass, there are also more roots that the farmer does not see, but are there. So these roots are raw matter for building organic matter in the soil, and this means carbon sequestration, but this also means more water storage capacity and other benefits in terms of resilience. But to estimate the potential for carbon sequestration is not an easy task, because soil is very heterogeneous, and sampling of soils to provide robust reporting is very costly. So it is needed to identify, calibrate, validate models that can be cost effective in order to monitor the changes, for example, in soil organic carbon. Many soils, many grasslands in the world are degraded. When soils are degraded, there is an opportunity to restore the health of the soils, and the core of the health strategy is the organic matter and the carbon. So it means that restoring health to this degraded ecosystem implies increasing the organic matter and sequestering carbon. How can we influence carbon sequestration? How can we help move the needle of the carbon sequestration in soil, which practices are better to promote this carbon sequestration. For example, provide the nitrogen to help the microbes process the residues and the litter in order to transform it into organic carbon. There's a lot of work to be done to validate practices that can be transferred and deployed so other farmers also benefit and the country as a whole benefits because it is restoring the value to its grasslands.
Great. Just one quick question. Just following up on something you said earlier. You said that some farmers doing some broad type things and some are doing some more focused. Like what actual practices are farmers doing in terms of being able to do this? What do they actually do?
In case of my country, overgrazing is a practice that is very extended and that has very negative long-term effects on the ecosystem, reducing biodiversity, eroding the soils, and reducing the productive capacity of the system. So the first step is to recognize that overgrazing is not a good practice and try to regulate the grazing pressure in order to let the system start recovering its productivity. If farmers work with more grass, there is more leaf area collecting energy from the sun and CO2 in order to produce biomass and feed the animals. So this is a very simple idea that if you overgraze, you degrade the system in the long term. So it's to go back to look at the system in order to maximize its productivity in the long term, which is the same as saying sustainable intensification in our policy.
Great.
I don't know if this is clear enough.